Casey and I are here, the Bob Marshall Rocky Mountain front area, doing overnighter up Jones Creek. Beautiful weather, not too hot, not too cold, and partly cloudy, so we should get some cool shadows. Never been up this drainage before, looks pretty, so here we go. Got some overcast coming in, cooled stuff down a little. I think it did say 20% chance of rain after 3 p.m. Usually when it rains here along the Rocky Mountain front, usually isn't too bad. Really pretty out here. Let's blow it onto the trip. Hopefully it's not a common thing like that Elk Lake trip. At least the trees out here are a lot smaller than that of the rainforest of the Bitterroot. So we just passed the junction, and we're going to continue up the East Fork of Jones Creek. Further up the drainage, that's where we're heading. We're going to try and camp towards the base of the wall over there. This is such a beautiful place. Yeah, well, here's the East Fork of Jones Creek. Not much of a creek right now. Really banking on some of that snow. End of the canyon there, that's where we're headed. Kind of lost the trail, but I'm just gonna hike up the wide open creek bed here. See if we run into anything. Of course, as usual, seems to be a common occurrence here in the eastern of the Bob and Rocky Mountain front. Always hiking into the wind in grizzly country. And the wind's never got her back. So, to make a little more noise in the brushier places if we do come across brushier places. Wasn't paying attention to the map and stuck too far east and went up this braid that goes up into that guy. It's pretty canyony and dry. So we want actually through the trees here, so visibility is going to be limited as we cut through. So now's about time our normal hay bears start coming out as we make our way back to the correct braid. Well, we made it back to our main braid. This is the correct one. There we go. we got a bear track. Looks like it's going that way, the opposite direction we're going. And we're slowly getting into the forested meadow section. River braid's getting narrow. We're almost to the end here. Then once we find a camp spot, we gotta find some water, which is always something you gotta do here. And then relax at camp. So we found a nice spring here. Have a pack off break. I know we're close to the end, but we were in no rush. This is pretty. Get some water in us. When the sun goes away, it's nice and cool. When that sun comes out, you definitely feel that high desert, I'll tell you what. Alright, let's get some water. Lacey and I are slowly now gaining the meadow where we're going to be camping in. The satellite image kind of looks like a J, the way the meadow is shaped. It's like starts there, goes back. There's this tree line here. You can see a break behind the trees by my finger right here. That's the meadow. It goes like this. Here's where we have our packs dropped. We're going to look around and explore without the packs, just to cover more ground. There's a nice flat spot here. Good views, obviously, and there's a flat spot there. So you guys have a tent pad and a fire pit. You don't want them too close to each other in this area. And yeah, wonderful views. Wow. Alright, this is gorgeous. Lacey and I have explored this whole meadow. It's not a very big one, but it's a pretty one. I think where we set our packs lower down is actually the best spot. There's two flat spots, a couple 100 feet from each other. One could be the food area, and the other could be where our tent's at. Like this view. This is only 400 or 500 feet from there. Come up here and watch sunset or something. This is gorgeous. And then tomorrow we're thinking in the morning, gaining that pass and summiting that guy, and maybe that guy. We'll see what happens. But definitely summiting that guy. I know there's some cool views in that direction. I kind of want to also scout that for a route. Some years in the future, doing the Gibson to Swift Reservoir along the Rocky Mountain front trip. I think that'd be really pretty. And that spring isn't far from our camp either. Yeah, there's camp. There's the view. Bear sack tied off. There's our food area over here. We're collecting firewood for it right now. One last task before fire, dinner, and beer. Gotta walk back down to the spring and fill up, so we're full on water. Alright, we're almost to the summit. Great views. The wind's getting pretty intense though. Climbing on down. The wind up there is really intense. It's sort of like blowing us over. And it's really hard to breathe when you looked into it. And it's really dang cold. I can't feel my fingers right now, so hey, pulled the plug on that and we're heading back to the tent to pack up. Whew. Still winter up here, even though it doesn't look like it. Made it back to the flatter part. A little less windy here too. Man, that was bad up there. Alright, once we get back to camp, we're gonna pack up and hike on out and head into Shoto, get some food, restock a bit, and see what we want to do from there. We've got a few more days off. We're all packed up, gonna hike out. Wind's picking up down here now, and guess which direction it's blowing? Into us. You're always hiking into the wind here in grizzly country, it seems like. So without further ado, here we go. Looks like there's one of the sections of trail there we lost the other day, but makes more sense walking the riverbed. It's flatter and doesn't go up and down 10 million times, it looks like. A lot of up and down. This is nice and flat and down. Well, slight decline heading back to that crossing. Stability track is on. That means the ground squirrels chewed on the wires again. I looked under and they did. And they chewed on our water filter too. It's almost a exact repeat of the Reardon Gulch trip. Stupid squirrels.